Yes, it's recording.
Okay, excellent.
And this is Claudia. I'm jumping in with another logistical thing. If you're on a computer and you're muted, and then if you are one of the presenters and you want to speak, you can just hold down the space bar instead of clicking mute and unmute.
Thank you, Claudia. Okay,
Cool.
I'm all set. No more questions.
Thank you. Okay, so yeah, if people could just go ahead and just state their names real quick.
Hi, I'm Catherine.
My name is Alex.
My name is Shakaya.
My name is Brian.
Jari.
Okay, was that everybody? I thought there were 6 people that were there for that.
I'm not sure if you guys heard me because I went at the same time with somebody else, but hi, my name is Jari.
Nope, I hadn't, so I'm glad you're speaking.
Shakaya, are you there?
Oh, I thought I introduced myself. Sorry, Shakaya. Can you guys hear me?
Yep,
Now.
Shakaya, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
So far we've heard Shakaya, I think Jari, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and I believe Alex is, I think, who we've heard from so far.
Yeah, Jari.
I heard Brian and Catherine as well.
Okay. So are we ready to go? Anyone else we're waiting to hear from? Okay. So this is a loose conversation. So as Pompey said, youth space was identified as a community need in our assembly process. And so this is the first step of our feasibility study. And what we are doing is we're inviting in experts and practitioners to talk to us about community needs. So I think so that we don't have the issue of people kind of like jumping in on top of each other. I'll say maybe let's just have everyone speak in alphabetical order by their name, by their first name. The first question is 3 parts, and then we'll just kind of take it from there. But this will be the bulk of the conversation. So 1, we're interested in youth space is very broad. We didn't ask any. In our process, we didn't ask any follow-up or refining or clarifying questions. So we know that youth space could mean a bunch of things. So I would say there's a 4-part question to start with. 1, when you hear youth space, what does that make you think of? What comes to mind when you think of youth space? The second part of that is, what's your experience with youth space in Boston? And what have you liked about those experiences? And then what are some gaps? What are some things that you felt have been missing? And so I'll just repeat those 4 questions. So 1, what comes to mind when you think of youth space? What has your experience been with youth spaces in Boston? What have you enjoyed? What have you liked? What have you appreciated? And then what has not been so great, or what has been missing, or what are some gaps? And I think probably let's just go in alphabetical order by first name. So I think that would probably mean Alex, I think, is starting first.
Yeah, just give me a sec, hold up. What comes to mind when you hear youth space? Like when I hear youth space, I just think about like fields where kids can go, parks, places like that. I feel like those are youth spaces for teens and all that. Do I have to answer like all of them at once or?
What do you think is easier? It was my sense that you would answer them all at once, but if you want some more time in between questions, we can cycle through.
I'll just go with the second question right now.
Okay.
What experience have you had with the youth space in Boston? I mean, I don't spend my time that much in Boston, but sometimes I'll go over there. There's fields, and I usually just go over there and just hang out and all that. It's really nice. Lots of people go. Question 3.
So you can also speak to where you are at too. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
And if you identify Chelsea as the place that you are at.
Yeah. Well, knowing that I live in Chelsea, there's a lot of like in my area. There's like a couple fields. There's a basketball court, like 2 parks, and I really enjoy those places to go and hang out with my friends or whatever. What have you enjoyed? I enjoyed a lot personally, like just being here almost 12 years of my life. It's really nice to spend time in these places in Chelsea and also kind of Boston. What has been missing? What has been missing? I really don't know what's been missing. Mm, just, in my opinion, more places where youth can go, maybe more locations around Chelsea / Boston. That's pretty much all I can think. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Alex. And just a quick thank you for noting that you don't have much experience with youth spaces in Boston. So just a refinement of that question. Let's just talk about your experience with youth spaces in general, anywhere that you've experienced them. So we don't have to think about a specific geographical location, but youth spaces where you've grown up, youth spaces where you've visited. So just kind of think about your general life experience. So next, I think, is Brian. And thank you, Alex.
Okay. So for the first question, what comes to mind when you hear youth space? What comes to mind is like an area where like youth could hang out, like do their like schoolwork or just hang out with other youth, be themselves, somewhere that's safe and like good and reliable. What are experiences you had in youth spaces? In Chelsea, when I was younger, I used to go to like the Boys and Girls Club. So that was like a fun thing that I was a part of for like 2 years. And it was like a nice youth space. Everybody was divided by like their age, but it was cool. Well, I guess I kind of answered number 3, but yeah, like moving into question 3, everything. Yeah, you were with like people your age, so you were able to like get along with people, make friends. And for number 4, what is missing in Chelsea? I'd say like bigger areas, I guess. Like bigger green spaces, because in Chelsea there's only one like really huge area called Admiral's Hill, and it's just that's like the only big green space that like we have in Chelsea. So yeah.
Thank you, Brian. I don't know, but is Jari next?
Yeah. So for what comes to mind when you hear youth space, what comes to my mind is probably like, well, the thing that comes to mind like when I think youth space is probably like a library. I think of a school library, but at the same time I also think of outdoor spaces like soccer fields, basketball courts. I think of those as youth spaces, and what experiences I've had in youth spaces. I well, me, I haven't lived in like the U.S. like most of my life. Like I've had my life in another country. I have my life here, and from I used to be East Boston, and there was like the park like near the airport, and in Chelsea there's basketball courts and there's soccer fields. What? Oh, and there's like soccer fields, and what I've enjoyed is kind of like the camaraderie with like all other teams there, like, and like other kids there, just kind of like meeting up with other like local teams and kind of talking to them, like socializing with people and getting to know each other. And for the last part is what's been missing. Personally, I believe in Chelsea, we could use like more spaces, like indoor spaces, because like when it gets cold out, there's like really not a lot of places to go in Chelsea, like because most of the places like people hang out at like parks, and like if we're hanging out at like indoor places, there's like one or two places. So that's all.
Thank you, Jari. I believe Catherine is next, and I do have some follow-up questions, but I would want to go through everyone first.
Hi everyone. I just want to pull up the questions. Okay. So, well, I go to school in East Boston. Answer the first question. What comes to mind when you hear youth space? I think of like a space where youth can be themselves and just like be youth, just like really have a space that's their own, where they can be free and to like hang out with their friends. What experiences have you had with youth spaces in Boston? So I go to school in East Boston, and like a place where like a lot of my friends and I hang out after school is the East Boston Public Library. They have like a teen space, so that's like I really like hanging out there. I think there's like a lot of like freedom to like a degree because it is a library. But I think it's a space where like a lot of youth hang out, and we can just like kind of like be ourselves. And I think I would like that. Because in Chelsea we have a library and we have a teen space, but it's kind of like not really a teen space because like we have to be like really like silent, and it's not really a teen space. It just has like two chairs. So just like seeing something that's like cool, just like a physical, like just cool atmosphere, and also having like some freedom. Um, and I think that's what has been missing. I think a teen space also it has to be a literal space, but it also has to have like a welcoming atmosphere for teens where they can like be themselves without needing to like adhere to other standards. Yeah.
Thank you, Catherine. And I believe now we have Shakaya.
Yes. Something that comes to mind when I hear youth space is, well, mainly the youth being the top priority. and also having the things they want in that area that they have. Experience that I have with youth spaces in Chelsea. Um, I want to say there's a teen space, but yeah, you have to be quiet. Like Catherine said, you have to be quiet. It's really small, and yeah, we also have. I I want to say I consider. I go to Chelsea High, and in our library, I want to say I can consider that a youth space, and it's pretty helpful. You could do your homework there. You could play games in there. You can use the laptops or the computers. And what have I enjoyed? Well, yeah, that leads back to me being in my high school library. Is that I could talk to my friends. I could play games with them like Uno. I could go on the computers and do all my homework before going home. And what has been missing? An actual teen space. I understand we have the Boys and Girls Club, but I feel like there should be one that's prioritized for teens around um like their high school years, from freshmen to seniors. And I feel like there should be just a big space for them that's similar to the Boys and Girls Club, but something more for their age and more for their needs. Yeah.
Thank you, Shikaya. So that's actually a nice segue into my next question, and this would be ideally for all of you, but if only, and feel free to answer if it really resonates with you. So Shikaya, what you've just said, we've heard from other people. So the sense that there are spaces for younger people. And then there is this kind of age group, and it probably really would be kind of like the solid teenage group between being very young and being 21. And so we've heard from other people that it seems like there are a lot of spaces that are available for younger people. And then there are a lot of spaces that are available for people who are 21 plus. But then that age group, teenager to 21, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot. And this makes me think of what you said, Jari, when you said there are outdoor spaces, there isn't really an indoor space. So my follow-up question would be, what would actually be inside an actual physical space that was targeted towards teenagers? So very, very specifically for people from 13 to 21. What would you be able to do there? I'm thinking about Catherine's comment about just freedom. What would the atmosphere be? Any thoughts about whatever specifics or details you could think of that would be ideal for a space that was very specifically for you?
Hello?
Yep. Is that you, Shikaya? Go ahead, Shikaya.
Okay, I thought they said Catherine's turn. Sorry. Something that I can. You're basically asking what do we envision inside a teen space and
Yeah.
indoors?
Yep. Perfect. Thank you, Shikaya.
No problem. Basically, what I envision is just something, where they could get help from people. Like, are you familiar with Chelsea?
I
Is
am not.
anyone?
This is Nia. Nia is not. No. I don't know
Okay.
about anybody else on the call.
Well, what I envision is just like, it has something to relate to sports, or actually having teens get into use their own creativity, their own what's that word? Like, you use their own talents, I could say, do anything they want to do in there. There could be different clubs in there that can help with their needs, like their future career, or if they want to increase their skills on something. I also think there should be mentors in there for example, you know, there could be any teen could walk into that room and they could be different. It could be at-risk teens. It could just be teens that needs help with homework, and or just needs help because home isn't the place. And I feel like having mentors in that area that are pretty young or just used to teens or have work experience with teens, they should be able to work inside there to help them out. I feel like you should get activities, but you also get the help that you need to help with your future career in life. Oh my God, was I on mute? Oh, okay, no.
You weren't on mute. Thank you, Shakaya. And then it looked like someone was about to chime in, and it was a phone number. I couldn't see a name, but if you were ready to go, we were able to hear you.
Okay. Oh no, I was ready. I said everything, but that was it.
Okay, great. Thank you. What about Jari? Can I ask, what are your thoughts? Because you mentioned there isn't an actual indoor space. So what would you envision an indoor space for teens, 13 to 21? What would be in that space?
Something I would envision would be like kind of like a place for like kids and like teenagers to try to like get like after school help. At the same time, like there should be like programs and like opportunities to do like sports, things like that. Like having like access to computers would be really nice because there's not a lot of indoor places, but like you can get like there's a lot of like computers that like a lot of teams can be at one place. Things like that.
Thank you, Brian. And then Catherine, I think you also said there isn't an actual literal space. And there's the little one at the library. Do you have any thoughts about what you would envision for what an actual space would look like?
I think having, like, I'm using the East Boston Library as an example because I think that's a good starting point. Like just like in our library space, that's a teen space. Like they just have like tables, so like having just tables and chairs that they, I don't know, like emphasize collaboration and like talking with others as opposed to just like sitting by yourself, because it kind of in part it kind of creates that atmosphere that you can't really like talk to other people, you can only like keep to yourself. And I think also having resources like homework help, computers, and I think a 3D printer would also be pretty cool.
Cool. Thank you, Catherine. So that's it for me. I'll open it up to everyone else who's on the phone or online with us. See if you have any questions.
Well, I'm interested in hearing about how you think space could invite the initiative of young people in the creation of programs or groups or the shaping of activities.
Could you say that again?
Yeah, I was saying I'm really interested to hear how folks think youth initiative, youth ideas, youth leadership can best be brought out to shape spaces, program ideas for activities, for meeting young people's needs, or for forming activities that are enjoyable, whichever it may be, or both at the same time. How do you think youth initiative is best given a place to form spaces?
Catherine, I think you're muted if you're trying to speak. I'm not sure.
No, I was just thinking about the question.
Sorry, you popped up on my screen, so I thought maybe you were speaking. Well, if it's okay, while you're still thinking, maybe I'll throw in another question. So someone, one of our members, we spoke to a couple of people from the Girls Leap program and from the Charlestown High Diploma Plus program last week. And one of our members asked them, what is something creative or not creative that you've wanted to try in your life that you haven't had an opportunity to try yet?
What's one opportunity that you want to try that you haven't tried yet?
Yeah, what's something you've wanted to try for a while, or maybe even a short while, and you've not yet had the opportunity to do so?
Dance class.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't want to just give you a basic sentence. Like, yeah, I mean, I did dance in high school, but I want to be honest, it wasn't the type of dance I was into. I like step, more hip hop, urban, and I got something that was not so amusing to me. So yeah, and I just find it fun to do something like that when I see it on videos, on YouTube, on TV. It's just something interesting for me that I haven't got to try out yet.
Thank you. Yeah, one of the people who were with us last week, they said the same thing, dance and step. Thank you, Shakaya. Anybody else?
Like art in general, different forms of art, like painting or printing, like making prints. I think that would be cool.
Cool. Thank you, Catherine. I think somebody might have a follow-up question for you. Jari?
Yes, I'm sorry. Can you please repeat the question again?
Yeah, sure. So is there anything you've wanted to try that you haven't had the opportunity to try yet? Anything creative, not creative?
I mean, probably like figure skating. I don't know. I think it looks cool. But I don't think I don't have it like in me to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And if you have the opportunity, you would go for it?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, okay, cool.
Very nice.
Thank you. What about Alex and Brian? Any, do you want to chime in on that question?
Yeah, I want to see like more like activities that where I feel like I should be involved. Like for example, we in Chelsea do like basketball tournaments and stuff like that. It's called Let It Fly. It's like where ages from I believe 14 to like 18, I believe, get to join and compete. I like to see more of that, a lot more throughout the year, in the summer mainly, stuff like that. But not just only that one sport, but more like baseball, stuff where people can actually, like a lot of people can actually like play and stuff, not just one thing. I like to see that.
Cool, thank you. And was that Brian who just spoke?
No,
Yeah,
it was Alex.
It was Alex?
I
Okay,
accidentally.
thank you, Alex. And Brian, have you spoken yet on this question?
No, I have not. May you repeat the question?
Sure. What is something you wanted to try that you've not yet had the opportunity to try? Something creative, something non-creative?
Um, I mean, something I would like to try, zip lining.
Cool.
Zip lining, yeah, or parachuting. I don't know, one of the two.
Cool.
Mari, I had a question for you. This is funny. You mentioned that you lived in another country for most of your life. Would you be able to share with us which country?
Are you talking to me?
Jari?
Jari, right?
Or Jar? Yeah, Jar.
Yeah, keep what happened?
I couldn't hear you.
From what I said, like to repeat it.
Yeah, you mentioned that you grew up in another country, but you never named the country, so I was just curious if you...
Oh yeah, I'm from Honduras.
Okay.
Cool, thank you. And then I'm just, I know Catherine, and definitely don't want to put you on the spot. I know you said you're thinking about Sky's question a bit, so this was the question about how youth initiative and youth ideas. So essentially, for example, this conversation, your ideas, this is how I'm interpreting the question, and what you envision, how they can be a part of creating youth spaces, I believe is what Sky was asking. So I don't know if any of you have had a chance to think a little bit more about that. And Sky, if I've interpreted that incorrectly, definitely.
That was good.
Okay. So has anybody had a chance to think about that question?
How youth can like create initiative or
Yeah, and what I would say is like how you, for example, your ideas, what you're thinking, your initiative could be a part of the process of creating youth spaces, and I would say or maybe even being creating those youth spaces, actually creating the youth spaces. Just any thoughts about that?
Like you've been put in charge. So now what are you going to do?
oh like more of like the specifics?
Yeah.
Maybe having like some fun events, like an example, like having like a painting night. I think that's cool. And just having like like an open mic. I think just having like creative spaces where youth can take up that space is interesting.
Cool.
I
Thank you.
agree.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I said I agree with Catherine with trying to have like more fun and nights and trying to get more teams involved. Wait, was I not Cath? Wait, okay. Oh yeah, but just trying to get more teams involved and trying to do like more creative stuff that can bring them together. Like yeah, just trying to do stuff like that.
Yeah. So on that note, something that this makes me think of, at least in Boston, I don't know what the situation is in Chelsea, but we definitely have a lot of people here who plan fun social events, and they are very adult oriented. And so there could be a partnership with some of those people to plan exactly what you've talked about: open mic night, painting night. Could be an open mic night with painting. So yeah, that could be very cool. Okay, I think I'm gonna ask just one more question, and then we'll be at time. It's 7:08, so we've got about 7 minutes. This conversation for tonight ends at 7:15. So as Pompey mentioned, before we started this conversation, and then as I mentioned but didn't really talk about a whole lot, was this is a part of our, we learned about these needs as a part of our assembly process. And our assemblies are just simply neighborhood gatherings that we co-host with grassroots organizations that are in that particular neighborhood. So what we also ask people who participate in those assemblies, the question we ask them are, what are the businesses you love? And so I'm just curious, do any of you have businesses you love? How would you answer that question if you were at one of our assemblies? Which businesses would you name?
Huh. I don't. That's a good question. I don't know their names. I just go there. I don't.
What kind of businesses are they, Shakaya? So when you say you just go there, what's there? Where do you go usually?
What type of businesses are we talking about? Just
any kind.
Okay.
Any
Okay.
kind.
Just making
Yep.
sure. I have two. Well, one is like this hair store. It's in Mass Ave. It's at Mass Ave. And the reason I like it is because I just love small businesses, and then she has like hair for all textures and types, and that's something hard for me to find in my own city. And I feel more welcome towards that, and I feel really great about it. Another business is, his name is Demetrius, and he creates like You Matter hoodies and shirts, sweatpants, you name it. And the reason I like him is because he focuses on positivity and mental health. It's just mental health amongst everyone. And I just find that really great and successful of him to do that. Especially since he's a Black man who's owning this type of thing, this small business. I just find it unique as well. But those are my two.
Thank you, Shakaya.
Yes.
And actually, Shakaya, since you went first, if it's okay, I think I'm going to go backwards now in the alphabet. So I think that next is Catherine.
Yes.
A business that I think is cool. There's this thrift store that I like to go to in Cambridge. I think it's called Boomerangs. And I like it because I like to thrift, and also because they do like really good things for the community, like donating money. I think it's for like AIDS research, and like action groups. So just having like businesses that have a positive impact.
Cool. Thank you, Catherine. Next is Jari.
A business that I think is does it have to be a local business, or can it be outside of Chelsea?
No, it can be an outside business.
A business that I think is cool. I don't know. I really think like local barbershops. I just think like near me there's a new barbershop, and like I just think some of the barbers are like really good at what they do. I just think like the work is really good, so probably local barbershops. I can't really think of any stores right now.
Cool. Thank you, Jari. Brian?
Yeah, so a business that I like, I'd say like shoe shops. They're nice. You know, shoes are pretty cool, and they come like very in variety. So like it's just nice when I'm like in like a shoe store and there's all like the shoes everywhere, and everybody would be able to like get what they like. So.
Thank you, Brian. Alex?
Yeah, I was gonna say like local, like not local shoe stores, but like downtown. Yeah, but I also want to say like like clothes shops and all that. Stores like down in Cambridge, like in the mall, whatever. I like going there, clothes shopping and all that. So yeah, I like those type of businesses like that. Different types of clothes to choose.
Cool. Thank you so much. This covers it, and we're at time. And if there aren't any more questions from anyone who's online or on the phone, we'll start to transition to our breakout groups.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for your testimonies and sending you good thoughts while we write out the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie, also for doing all of the arrangement and so everyone could participate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I also want to know before the youth leave that we have a youth caucus. Ujima has a youth caucus where some of what Sky was referring to, where youth can actually shape what it is that they want. We definitely are building that caucus with not only folks who are presenting at Ujima, but other contacts. There's quite a few people with youth, who are youth workers, who are in our network, who can, make sure that we have that link. But we really want it to be something that youth feel comfortable leading, so that they can let us know how as Ujima and how as a community fund, we can be accountable to your needs. So I will be in touch with Stephanie and Leilani, and I'm missing Leilani today, but what a wonderful person. And I will hopefully, with your permission, loop you in to what we're doing.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. Thank you. So as we were saying, the second part of our meeting, we have members of Ujima who come on Wednesdays to help shape different parts of Ujima. So today we have Anchor Institution and Outreach. An Anchor Institution basically works to leverage the power of the community fund and what that means with institutions such as universities, hospitals, even the city, to do the right thing. And we have businesses that will be Ujima businesses. So what we're trying to do is work on getting all of, getting some of the contracts that, just kind of go out to support Ujima businesses. So in that way, Ujima members are very much the infrastructure that is, helping the businesses that we are taking on as Ujima businesses to do the, so they have the best chance. And then the other team that's meeting is Outreach, which is a big component. So it'll be really interesting now that we're in this current situation of digital technology and digital communication, how we're going to envision the next few months so that we can keep getting the message out. Welcome. For those of you joining, several people will be joining right now because they're here for their member teams, Anchor Institution and Outreach. We're going to shortly break out into breakout rooms that the Zoom function has. I just wanted to say hello. This is Pampi, and welcome. And I also wanted to kind of go into a little bit of, given the current situation that's happening all around us as we're trying to maintain grounding, and knowing that community connection is such a big part of that grounding, there's a bit of something that I'm going to be encouraging member teams as they continue to meet once a week to try to start to incorporate, which is to check in with the larger group of members who are signed on to your teams. I think this, during this time, since we are meeting digitally, we might look into reaching out and seeing and checking in with how people are doing right now. And just, doing that human connection, even if it is from a digital way. So I understand that some people are joining from their laptop, others are calling in. So display is more difficult to share. So I'm going to just go into a little bit of the write-up that I've done to kind of situate us as to how we might move forward to start doing a little bit of reaching out to the members who have signed in with our teams that we haven't seen in a while, or who hasn't been able to come in at this point. We all have larger groups of people, right? So I just wanted to go into a little bit of some of the things that we're thinking to do and get your feedback about that for the next like 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
For those people who are joining tonight for the member teams who have not already introduced yourself, could you introduce yourself and what member team you are with, please?
Hey, this is Simona, she, her. So excited to join on a virtual platform. I'm with the Anchor Institution team.
I'll go next. I'm Siona, and I'm also on the Anchor Institutions team.
Hi, this is Jamia. I'm also just joining the Anchor Institution team. Hi. Sorry, my video's not on.
And this is Lucas here for the Anchor team, but been on already. Okay, folks.
I'm Angel. I've been on already. And that's the Artist team.
Okay, hi. I'm just checking to see how many people are right now on. Thank you for your patience as I am getting connected to a lot more people on Zoom. I'm going to share for those of you who are joining right now on the group chat. I can actually figure out how to do this because I did this just once before. I don't see the box. Okay, Lucas, do you think you can share the agenda for the open meeting on the group chat, please?
Yeah, happy to do that, dropping it in now.
Thank you. So Lucas is dropping the agenda to the meeting today, and as you're going through the agenda, for those of you who are on your laptop, can you sign in to the link, sign-in link on the front page that is connected to your member team, please? And those of you joining, if you can be by phone, if you can be responsible once we break up into our groups to make sure that you enter for them, because they may not be able to access the agenda. Is that okay? All right. So I'm going to go a little bit into the letter, what we're trying to do for the script for InReach. In both the outreach, investor outreach, and Anchor Institution member team folder, I have uploaded a Excel document which has the list of all of the people who signed into your respective teams and their phone number and their email address. What we're trying to do during this like pretty unprecedented moment of uncertainty is to reach out as community members to our members, as a practice of reaching out to some of the members on our team that we haven't really interacted with, and kind of checking in general and seeing how people are doing. That's the spirit of the quick phone call. On that list, there might be people you already know, which is great. So certainly don't overlap, but like certainly choose a person that you might know. And if you don't know someone, try to make a commitment to calling someone you do not know on that list. I've prepared a kind of a script that I will, I guess I'll upload to the folder. I will go over this script with the outreach team and just make sure that it has all of the things that we need to today, and I'll upload it within the next couple of days to each of your folders. So whoever is going to be the administrator or facilitator in your team, or even staff in case the facilitator doesn't have access to the folder, just make sure that everybody has access to your folder so you can see it and make that call. So you'll have about a month till the next meeting to try to make those calls. If you want to make more calls, that's wonderful. And then the spirit of the calls is basically to check in with people, see how they're doing, and really just practice deep listening. And also, if you sense that the person would benefit from, or you could even ask them, like, would it feel good for you to have some access to different, to have access to community through the digital medium? These are some of the things that are coming up. So the script will have some of those things that are coming up already there, so you can share what you think makes sense. On the Excel sheets that I have uploaded, I'm going to format them so that you can initial your name when you have made the call, the date of the call, and what was done, what was more or less a note of how the conversation went. This way I can see, how the inReach is going. So I just wanted to give some space now for those of you listening to respond back to what you think about that as an outreach or an inReach for all of your teams, and whether that's something that would be good to do at this point.
Can I ask a question here? I think I'm not clear about if this is everybody meeting together as two different committees, or if we separate it into different communicational groups.
We are going to separate into different communicational groups, but as member or manager, since I'm in charge of all the groups, I'm just doing 5 minutes.
You're just combining this cross-purpose. Okay, I see.
So I don't have to do this.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
I think a call list is a good idea. It's a good way to reach out to people and keep them engaged, let them know we're still trying to do something. And I think it fits in with the mission of Boston Ujima. It's like we didn't forget. So, I haven't seen the materials and stuff, but I will be looking looking in the folder to check it out. And then I'll reach out to you if I have more questions.
Well, thanks.
Okay, so if you don't have to respond right now, so if you want to shoot me an email afterwards because you had some other thoughts or you have other ideas for more community engagement, of course I'm here to receive that and try to figure out a way to translate that for member teams to be engaged with. I thank you very much for joining us tonight, and yeah, it's a lot. Do anybody, before we break out into our groups, just want to share anything on your mind who hasn't already had that space? Anything on your heart?
Hi, Pompey. This is Nadav. Hi.
Hey, Nadav.
Hey.
Nadav, as I was talking, I was basically just checking in with people about a quick in-reach focus for all of our agendas to just go through the list. I uploaded a list of all the members that had signed up for each of the member teams. So Anchor Institution has a list of all of the Anchor Institution folks. And in this really moment of great uncertainty, as a practice of reaching out and community engagement of other members who may not be as active in the teams, but certainly show some interest, but to check in as a community member how people are doing. And if, offering some of the workshops or the meetings, just reminding people that we've switched into Zoom, into personal contact so that people have some community engagement through Ujima if that's what they would like to do. It's just a list, and I'll be providing a script as well so people can kind of just ground into the script and then do what they need to, whatever they need to say on the phone call for people that they decide to commit to at the meeting today. Lucas can catch you up but right now what we're doing right now is just kind of, given the state of the last week, and probably for some of us following the news for several weeks, if you wanted to share anything on your heart.
Well, I'd like to say that overwhelmness is really a thing, and also that to keep going, I think for connection with people, I feel like I need a kind of combination of formality and informality, of the ability to have some space for authenticity and some space for spontaneity, and not for everything to have to be all measured and exactly something, but or else failing, feeling like it's failing. And that's a lot to try to put across or to get a response to or to try to integrate, but it's just something I want to say that it's a thing on my heart. Did everybody hear that? Because it sounds like stone silence.
Yes, I heard it. I was on mute so that I wouldn't.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. This is Siona, and I think there's definitely an element of weightiness, obviously. I mean, so I'm trying not to get too far ahead of ourselves in terms of what's going to happen in the next few weeks. But yeah, thanks for asking and sharing.
Well, trying to be as deeply and as big in our presence in the moment as we can be, it seems, is an important thing to do. Is another way to put it.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to do the thing with and take us out into groups. I think I mostly can tell who's going to go where, except who is the 617-676 number?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Who is the 617-676 number?
That's me, I think.
That's Sky. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You're going to be with outreach. Okay, so I have to break it up and then like assign people, and mostly I know where some people are supposed to go. So if you end up in a breakout room and you're like, this is not where I'm supposed to be, just like, unbreak yourself, and I'll be in, you'll meet me in the.
Can I jump in? The unbreak yourself is a button on the bottom right that says ask for help. That'll let Pompey know that you need to leave that breakout room.
I think I just like brought in Tony Braxton.
I can't see that ask for help button.
Yes, you may unbreak my heart. All right, so I'm going to like break us up and know that we're all still here together. And before you leave, just like if you want to say something, and like you can like leave the break room and just end your meeting. But if you wanted to say anything, just type it up, and hopefully I can get to it. Okay. All right, I'm going to try this now. People are hearing. Okay, Sky, you and me.
Okay. That sounded like a scary.
Sky, are you here? Hello, Sky. Hi.
I just lose somebody? Hello? What's going on? Why are we in breakout rooms? Hello?
Okay, hi.
So why are we in breakout rooms?
Okay, we're in breakout rooms because we have Anchor Institution and outreach meeting.
Okay,
And
I should be an anchor.
you're with Anchor, so I'm gonna try to find you and put you there.
Okay.
Okay, enjoy.
All right.
You should be there now. You have to join it. Okay. Okay. Hi, Sky, are you still here? Hello? Okay. Hi. Sky, are you, no, so you and me are in the main room, so now we need to go to the breakout room. Shoot, this is so crazy. This should not be this complicated. Because Sky is there by herself right now, as far as I know.
Okay.
Um,
So I think you need to go to my name, and so right now, if I go and join a breakout room, I'm only assigned to Anchor.
okay, I'm gonna go to outreach.
Yeah.
Okay, now you should get a join.
Yep. Yep. All right. Cool.
Okay. All right. Is everyone here?